So I'm Ryan Silverman. I'm the founder of Nomadplug.
So Randy, we talked a little bit about Noma before the meeting. So talk about what this product is all about. It's a universal adapter for if you travel for plugs, and it's the last one you'll ever need to buy, is what you said.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So the inspiration came from obviously traveling a lot internationally, and every time I landed in a new country, I found myself buying a cheap adapter. It would generally land up in the drawer next to my bed, and on my next trip, I would never know which adapter to take to which country. So I decided to create one that would work in any country, that you'd be proud to carry with you in your bag all the time, so you'd never have to worry about where you're going.
So that was where the idea came from. Talk about how the product works essentially. So there's multiple different countries that have different, and regions that have different power supplies and power logistics and stuff like that. So it's not an easy thing to build.
Yeah, exactly. So it's taken us 3 years to get from prototype to production, and they'll be for sale on this coming Wednesday. So how it works is each component, you'll see there are lots of different components that fit together. They're held together by magnets. So I'll start off with the main adapter. So that takes any plug input. And then you'll be able to just use your US pins. You plug it into the wall, and we've got a nice little hinge over there.
Oh, cool.
So allowing easy access. Also works nicely if you're plugging it in horizontally there. You can just flip that around. And then depending on which country you're in, so you would just select the right components. So there's your European 2-pin plug. And then that would just fit directly onto the main unit. You'd plug it into the wall, and the same hinge would apply. And then we have the same concept for China, Australia, New Zealand. And then, of course, for the UK, we have a unit that looks like that. And then what we've also included is a USB-C component. So we're launching with an 18-watt version, so that should power up any mobile phone that takes USB-C. And then we've got a number of different versions with different inputs, multiple inputs. We've got a 30-watt version, and then we'll be launching a 65-watt by Q2 this year. So that's how it works.
Now, does your Nomadplug, does that have any kind of like surge protection for your devices or anything built into it, or is it just an adapter? Because I know some adapters, actually, funny story. When I was in Germany for the first time, I plugged in my US into a Germany adapter, and it blew my power supply for my phone because I didn't know that surging was a thing if you have too much wattage coming out. I didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, exactly. So we do actually have a built-in fuse. It's not a fuse that you'll ever have to replace. So it's electronic, and it will cut the power if there's an oversupply.
That's fantastic, because like I said, if someone like me goes out there, doesn't understand that those cheap little $2 converters you get don't have that. So if too much power gets pushed through, there goes your phone charger, there goes your laptop charger. You know what I mean? And then you're stuck in another country having to buy their version of a laptop charger, which is great. It's good that you have that feature in there. Was it difficult to implement something like that to something so versatile?
Yeah, honestly, it was a balance between designing for the aesthetic and the size versus the certification requirements. A lot of adapters are not really certified. As an example, if you take usually these pins are able to rotate to be able to get you into the US or Australia or China. So our initial design was exactly that, and it was much smaller, but very soon we identified that it's not possible to get that certified. So we actually had to create a unit which would have the US pins and then a separate module for China and Australia. So it was a balance between designing for certification and designing for the aesthetic appeal of the device.
It's important. What's the importance of getting certification? Because like I said, we've seen certain plugs on Amazon or Target that are $2, and they're clearly not certified. What's the importance of that in this world?
Yeah, look, I think any major retailer would probably sell a safe device. So certification just gets you that extra comfort that it's been through all the required tests, that it's actually can fit into the different plug sockets around the world. It's gone through certain, if you drop it, it won't, break, certain tests like that. So it just gives you an extra layer of comfort.
And your adapter will work anywhere in the world, right? Technically, I guess.
Yeah, 195 countries. Interestingly, the original inspiration was actually for what we call an M type, which is a plug that's available in only certain countries like South Africa. And during the process, South Africa decided to do away with that in favor of the EU type. So that made our job a little bit easier, made the device a little bit smaller, which is great.
Now, is this something, are you an engineer by trade? Is this like a project of passion, or like, is this like, tell us your story about this journey you've been on with Nomadplug.
Yeah, so I am actually an industrial engineer, but I've been in advertising for 15 years. And so this is definitely a project of passion. Hardware is a very difficult thing to do. So, would I do it again? Probably not. It's been a 3 years, learned a lot around manufacturing, selecting suppliers, just getting to the right people in order to get it certified was a big challenge. But I'm proud of the device and looking forward to launching this week.
Yeah, it's funny when I went to Toy Fair for the first time a few years ago. I forget that people are like, oh, you had to go to manufacturing for different plastics. I was like, there's different plastics? I thought it was just like this plastic's hard, this plastic's soft. No, there's like thousands of different types of plastics that you have to decide when you make something, and some of them are really nice but too expensive, and some of them are brittle. It's insane how much I don't think people understand about the engineering side of the world.
Yeah, any single product that you can think of, I mean, even to a t-shirt, it's amazing to understand the logistics and the thought and the number of people involved and the process it takes to actually get a product to market. Any product, really. I love that kind of stuff.
Is it easier now with suppliers like Amazon being so huge and on a global scale to have people carry your products, since there's no worry of like shelf space for like a Target or like a Walmart, something like that?
Yeah, so I mean, really, before anyone starts a business or launches a product, I think you have to think first about distribution, about the target market, and about your audience, because at the end of the day, you can spend a lot of money getting a product to market and and you won't be able to distribute it. So it's not that easy. In our case, we're launching first online. Also, the world today is very different. Travel is suspended for a period of time. So we're launching online. We're very lucky. We've developed a great brand. We've got a lot of loyal followers. We did a crowdfunding campaign, a while back, and our backers have been very patient while we bring this to market.
How would you say, I mean, obviously you said 3 years in the making of this. This last year has been kind of a whirlwind for anybody. Has that affected your production at all? Or if did it affect production?
Yeah, definitely. We would have loved to have shipped our product probably about a year ago. And various delays in terms of supply from and out of China, logistics in terms of getting the product out of China. So we have had quite a bit of a delay, but it's all down to timing. So hopefully the world will come back online now after vaccination, and we'll be ready to distribute the product, whereas a year back we've actually learned a lot in the last year.
What was personally, what was the hardest thing to accomplish in your product to design or create or to make work?
So I think coming from a background where I have not developed hardware before, so as I say, I've been in marketing for 15 years. I had to rely and trust people around me. So I think what was really important was meeting the right partners based in China and based in Hong Kong, who could talk the language, who could get around the communication barrier. And had I met them earlier, we would have brought the product to market probably 2 years ago already.
It's funny how so much people don't understand the amount of manufacturing that China does, because the rates are so competitive. I just, the only thing I can compare it to is, I know there's a game called Warhammer that UK makes, and they do all their stuff there, and it's extraordinarily expensive because of that reason. It's why you're paying $60 for 3 little models that are this big. So, but yeah, it's insane how that process works. And how was your background in marketing helped you in this whole journey?
So I think to a large extent, understanding, brand and what appeals to consumers, and understanding, trends in the markets, understanding very niche audiences. This is a premium product, so this is not going to be in a Walmart or a Target. You can get an adapter for $2. This is not that adapter. The 18-watt version will cost $76. So it's a very niche market, a very sophisticated customer who cares about the aesthetic, who wants to match their devices. They don't want something cheap and bulky. So advertising and understanding how brands work, having worked with many brands, global brands from around the world, it definitely went a long way to creating this brand.
So you spoke about crowdfunding a little bit. Can you talk about how that endeavor, just in general, can help people like you, entrepreneurs, create a product when before you'd have to go to someone with money and say, hey, I have this idea, I need, however much money to get off the ground? Like, how has that helped you?
Yeah, so I think there were 2 main learnings from that crowdfunding campaign. So yes, one reason would be to source funding. However, it actually costs a lot of money to do a crowdfunding campaign, or it can cost, if you've never done it before. So for me, the primary reason was actually to test the market, to understand, would consumers be interested in this product? Would they be prepared to buy it at a certain price? And we just got a phenomenal response from our backers, and actually attending CES previously as a startup helped us actually understand, well, what features did consumers want? Did they want a power bank? So for example, when we launched on Indiegogo, we launched with a power bank. We soon found out that nothing special about a power bank. They're millions, and you can get them very cheap. So that's we completely dropped the power bank in favor of just the universal adapter. The primary reason was to test our market.
So where can people go to find out about Nomadplug if they can find more information about it?
Sure. So the best place is probably our website, nomadplug.com. We have all the various social channels linked over there. We'll be launching for purchase on Wednesday, the 18-watt version.
Oh, right. Really close. Wednesday this week?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So that is the 13th. January 13th, I think. Yeah.